Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and here I have the sausage tree. But where are the sausages? I swear, 2 weeks ago I was in this park and there was one tiny sausage hanging on this tree. However, now I cannot find it anymore. It was definitely an out of season sausage. It was very small and just one. And as you can see, the tree is flowering right now like crazy. And if you think, okay, now let's find the breadfruit tree and the sausage tree, and we have a lunch or at least a snack, think again. Well, the breadfruit tree is actually edible. The fruits of the sausage tree are highly poisonous. But why do people still consume those highly poisonous things? Well, if I find this little highly poisonous thing. Well, first about the sausage tree. Kigelia africana. As you can guess by the name, it comes from Africa. A lot of different species and forms have been described, but now there is a general consensus that it's actually just one tree, and the different forms are due to different environmental conditions. It can grow all the way up to 3,000 meters into the mountains. It prefers moist areas, but can also grow in dryish areas. It cannot stand harsh frost. Well, I guess that means it can stand a little bit of frost. Where is it growing here? Well, not in Africa, it's growing in Europe. Here we are in Malaga, the most tropical city in all of Europe. And there is a good sized tree which has survived and thrived, I would say, for several decades. And yeah, I've seen a couple sausages hanging on it from time to time over the years. However, in many areas of the world, those sausages are not the perfect size. I think the first time I saw them was in Florida, and they were the longest were about 1.5 meters long. That's almost 5 feet, and well over 10 kilograms. Like, you could lift one quite easily, but it was a substantial weight. They're usually hanging from those really long peduncles, those really long stalks here. I wonder, this one, did it fall? Did it fall? I'm feeling brave today. If I find it, let's see. Well, for such a poisonous plant, it's crazy that it has quite a lot of uses. Well, Africans usually show quite a cultural tolerance to very toxic traditional medicines and also to very toxic foods. But even Africans are cautious to this. I guess Europeans were the same before we got all the modern stuff in Africa. Often they cannot afford a lot of modern medicine, so they use old-fashioned stuff. So this thing is used for a lot of different medical purposes, especially the fruits, but also all other parts. But I will not thrive too much on them. The only thing is it's so poisonous that it's mostly used as a very strong purgative. It will make you puke and so on. But it's also being used as a medicine for almost anything. I guess if you survive the sausage fruit, you also survive your disease. But apart from that, it's used for food. Some native African squirrels, for example, they use it for food. If it's good for squirrels, it cannot be bad for people, right? Those squirrels consume some part of the fruit. The people who observed it, they were not sure whether they consume the flesh or the seeds. Squirrels usually would consume the seeds, but sometimes they would consume fruits. But also the squirrels would bite holes into the bark and drink the juice and then get really wasted. Not sure if the juice was fermenting or if it was some of the other components, because humans are another species that uses this thing to get drunk. Yeah, they use the fruit and the seeds in beer. The flowers are also being used. Let me tell you later for what. Well, the fruits, which I cannot show you right now because the last tiny sausage. Where is the little sausage? There was one little sausage here. I can prove it. I filmed it 2 weeks ago. Where is the sausage? Show me your sausage. Come on, man, this is a fruit channel. Well, the fruits, the sausages, which we right now cannot seem to be able to find here, are used in the production of beer. However, they are so toxic that even before used in the production of beer, they need to be dried and cooked and stuff, and even then the beer is not really safe to drink, but people will get anything, they will do anything to get wasted. Yeah, the sausage fruit produces amyl alcohol. Well, it acts like there are enzymes in there which change the fermentation so that a lot of amyl alcohol is produced. This alcohol is supposed to give you, well, different experiences. What it gives you mostly is a horrible hangover. So if you are lucky, you'll get a horrible hangover from sausage tree fruit beer, or sausage beer, or how should we call it. If you are unlucky, you don't need to worry about the hangover. Apart from that, the seeds are being roasted and used as a famine food, which means, yeah, if you survive the seeds, you don't need to worry about starvation anymore, I guess, or whatever. Now to the flowers. At least we have the flowers here. It says that the nectar in the flowers is used as a source of sugar, and there is some stuff shining in here. Sticking my tongue where it's not supposed to go. It's sweet and plentiful with some bitterness. Other side, yeah, not so successful. And get out of here. Sweet and bitter. And on this hedge underneath it, there are some shiny leaves which I guess were covered in nectar from the sausage tree. I guess also that the flowers, which are already on the ground, don't have such plentiful nectar anymore, but yeah, that's a big but. All the flowers I can find are okay. Okay. Did you see all the nectar flowing? Let's I'm filming myself. Okay. I found 2 squished up flowers on the lower branch. I touched them and a lot of nectar ran down my hand. It's not too sweet. Did it rain here in the last days? No. But I guess they watered the whole park with a hose. And so probably some of the water got quite high. Literally. Well, let's try again. Oops. See? Now the corolla falls off. But inside the calyx there is still a lot. Yeah, plentiful and sweet. That was probably about 1 milliliter or maybe 2 or 3. It's like a tiny shot glass. Okay, not so much inside this one here. Just a couple drops. Let's try this one. much inside. So interesting. Yeah, this thing. This thing actually contains quite a good amount. I don't know if it's diluted with water. Quite a good amount of sweetish nectar. Come on, why is there nothing on the lower branches? That's annoying. So I can totally imagine this to be used as a source of sugar. So from now on, when I'm in a park and I find low-hanging flowers, I might tap some. Around here, yeah, most of them are too high. I was lucky that I found those few down there. Let's see. I checked a lot of did I forget anything? Production, famine, making beer, poisonous, fruit pulp, and also the bark I used to making beer. Since famine food after baking, the fruit are used with sugar to make drinks. The flowers are used in a sauce. They are eaten as a vegetable. The leaves are used to make a palm nut soup eaten by lactating women. I'm not really sure whether I should try one of the flowers. Drinking the nectar is one thing, but eating the poisonous flowers, come on. Don't do this, folks. Never consume anything which is supposed to be toxic. It tastes slightly medicinal. Also a slight numbing effect on my mouth. Yeah, stay away from it. Oh no. Thou shall not pass. Danger. For treatment. I know those Spaniards. They like to use the most toxic agrochemistry on their parks, gardens and children's playgrounds. I just ate flowers from this tree and drank the nectar, thank you. And I also ate, well, this is the sausage tree, and then nearby I also ate fruits from the white sapote. You know what's funny? A couple years ago, when I was eating stuff in Spanish parks, my son warned me. He was over 20 already at this time. My son warned me, be careful when eating stuff from those parks. It might be treated with some pesticides. I said, oh, no problem. While I was eating a fruit, I think it was another African fruit. It was Dovialis cafra. Was it Dovialis cafra? Umcocola. It was Umcocola. And then I went on the other side of the tree, and there was red tape everywhere and warning signs. And I already ate 2 things in this park today, and one of them was exactly this. Well, I mean, it's super poisonous anyways, the sausage tree, but they make even the most poisonous things more poisonous. I think the weird explorer tried a fruit once and survived it, so someday I might do that too. Tell me what you think about consuming the sausage tree, folks. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich city of Malaga, the most tropical city in all of Europe and probably also the most fruit-rich one. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.